Good evening, everybody. It's Charlie, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone has had a great weekend so far. Just before we get into this video, make sure you are smashing a like on the video. It really does help get the video out there to more people. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new so that I can reach 3K as soon as possible. Hit the notification bell so that you're always aware of when I'm uploading and going live. And of course, get all of your thoughts and opinions on everything that is discussed in today's video in the comment section down below, guys. Keep continuing with the engagement. Appreciate all the love and support that we've been getting on the channel recently. It really does mean a lot. Now, I just wanted to jump on and do this video because I've seen, that there's been a bit of debate throughout the month of January, for how the January transfer window went for Leeds United. A lot of people think it was a bad window. There's some people thinking that it was a good window. And then there's people who are in the middle who kind of wish we'd have done more, but then are happy with what did get done and what left the club, etc. Now, let's just speak about the outgoings first. So obviously, notable outgoings, so let's speak about Luke Ayling. Now, Luke Ayling, great servant to the football club, 7.5 years, part of the promotion team, giving us some amazing moments, amazing performances, amazing goals. Great guy on and off the pitch, a real ambassador of the club, someone that really understood the club and really, connected with the fan base on a very deep level. But from a footballing standpoint, this season, is Luke Ayling a big miss? Probably not, and that might upset a lot of people. But the only reason why I'm saying that is because Farke clearly didn't have him as part of his plans. He wasn't playing a lot anyway. He was getting left out of match day squads, and I feel like the Peterborough game in the FA Cup was the final straw for him. Obviously, we'd heard prior to that Middlesbrough were interested in Luke Ayling, but nothing had really progressed. And then the fact that Ayling wasn't even in the starting 11 for an FA Cup game where you would imagine he would come in as first team players would be rested. I feel like that was the final straw for him. And obviously he went to see Daniel Farke after that game and expressed his desire to move on and in order to get more minutes, which I completely understand. And I actually rate the fact that Luke Ayling, doesn't want to be a cheerleader anymore. He wants to be playing football. I watched him earlier on against Sunderland for Middlesbrough on Sky, and yeah, he performed quite well. And it was weird seeing him wearing that Middlesbrough shirt, but he had a smile on his face, and he was playing football, and that's what he wants to do. So fair play to him. That one, it hurt from a sentimental point of view, but from a business standpoint, from a footballing standpoint, and in terms of Leeds United evolving, it was the best move and it made sense for all parties involved. Jed Spence. Now, obviously, when this happened, initially we were all quite confused as a fan base. I'll be honest, I was fuming at the time when it happened. I felt like Jed Spence had not really been given the opportunity that he deserved at the time. This is how I'm feeling, by the way. I was thinking, yeah, he's been injured for a lot of it, but he did start to feature a lot more, especially over the Christmas period. He put in some decent performances. He wasn't at the level that we expected of him, but given the injury concerns that he had, I was just feeling like, a run of games and this will all, come good eventually. But then obviously Leeds United decided to terminate his loan and send him back to Tottenham. He's since then moved on to Genoa in Italy. Now, I must admit, I had the thought in my head, especially when Spurs sent him straight out on loan again. I was thinking, there's got to be something wrong here somewhere. There's got to be other factors involved, because if it's purely footballing, if it's a football decision, then it's a bad decision, because I feel like Jed Spence had great potential to be a good part of our team, given his ability and everything that we'd seen from him in the Championship when Nottingham Forest got promoted. Now, it turns out since then, there's been a lot that has come out in the wash about Jed Spence. Attitude problem, punctuality, and just general common courtesy, really, are things that he really lacked in. The punctuality, he was even late to the meeting where Farke, pulled him in to say that he was going to be going back to Spurs. He was even late to that meeting. He was late to training a few times. He even said no to going to the children's hospital over Christmas, which I think is just downright arrogant and ignorant and rude and disappointing, really. It's like he feels like he's too cool to go and do that when he isn't. These fans, whether they're in hospital or not, effectively pay your wages, pal. So, all the other players were willing to go and do it, to put a smile on some kids' faces, but he wasn't asked for that. Right, okay then. The guy's got great footballing ability, but it does seem like he's got the maturity of a 3-year-old. So am I bothered that he's gone back now? No. And that's disappointing to say because when we signed Jed Spence, I was over the moon. I was buzzing with it. And really excited to see him as part of our team. But we don't want bad eggs in our team. So it was a good decision that we sent him packing back to Spurs with the tail between his legs. So other outgoings, obviously, I believe Lewis Bate joined MK Dons. Again, look, I can't sit here and say that I'm bothered about these under-21s because I'm not. It may be wrong of me to be like that, but I don't watch the under-21s. I don't really take a focus to them unless there's a player that really should be getting in the first team. I might have a look at the highlights and things like that. But other than that, I'm really not bothered. And as people getting a bit upset about Sean McGuirk going to Swindon on a permanent deal. Look, people think the guy should have been getting opportunities, but if he hasn't had an opportunity under any of the previous managers either. And you can be good at the under-21s, but not good enough for the first team. And I feel like Lewis Bate is a very good player in the under-21s, but can't break it into the first team. Sean McGuirk seems like a good player in the under-21s, but can't make it to the first team. He's gone to Swindon, who I believe are in League One. Bate's gone to MK Dons, who are in League One. That's probably more their level at the moment, and they'll probably look like world beaters in that league. And Sean McGuirk and Lewis Bate could both turn into very good players in a few years. And if that's the case, fair play. But right now, they are not what we need. And the under-21s are suffering big time at the minute. They've not got any notable players in there now. They've got Stuart Downing in as part of the coaching staff there. And they've conceded 10 goals in the last 2 games or something. So, is the academy, downgrading a bit? Is it getting a bit naff? Leeds were one of the clubs that had a very good academy, but it seems like it isn't that great anymore. We lost that player to Man City, didn't we? I can't remember what he was called. Is it Finlay something? Finlay Gorman, is it? Yeah, he was a promising young talent, but we've lost him now to Man City. Archie Gray's obviously in the first team. There's Mateo Joseph, who's kind of, featuring on the bench and making little cameo appearances at the minute. Charlie Cresswell is one that Daniel Farke seems to have got back on side, after kind of kicking up a fuss about the lack of minutes that he's getting. But again, part of the last few match day squads maybe has kind of got him on side like he did with Willie Nonto. And, Nonto scored the goal the other night against Bristol City. He's been featuring a little bit more of late. So it does show you that if you're mature enough to speak things through with Daniel Farke and you can come to an understanding, that he'll be more than happy to put you back into the fold. And, I am glad that Charlie Cresswell has kind of sorted out his issues with Farke, and hopefully we can get to see him on a more permanent basis. And on to the only incoming that we managed to bring in. There was another outgoing, wasn't there? Leo Hjelde joined Sunderland on a permanent deal. I think he played earlier as well against Middlesbrough. Again, a player that didn't really get the opportunity that I feel like he deserved. I feel like he is a decent, promising young player, but I can understand him wanting to get minutes. And if Sunderland are willing to offer him that, then that has my full blessing. A player that we're not going to miss, but could have had a decent career at Leeds if it hadn't have been for the circumstances around it. So yeah, fair play to him for going to Sunderland. And I wish him all the best. And let's discuss Connor Roberts then, our only signing that came on deadline day. It was announced after the deadline had closed. The fact that we've obviously let Jed Spencer and Luke Ayling go meant that we had to get a right back in. And I'm glad that we've got one. A very, very good player for this level. A very smart signing as well. Someone that is experienced at this level with Burnley, is experienced in the Premier League. And judging by the interview that he had with Phil Hay when he joined, Phil Hay even said it himself, there was strong hints in that interview that Connor Roberts would be wanting to make the move permanent should it all go well. And that's good to see. And it's been a long time that we've actually seen a player be buzzing to join Leeds United in the way that Connor Roberts was. If you compare it to when Jed Spence signed, again, it's all hindsight now, but if you go back and watch the Jed Spence interview when he signed, it does not look bothered to be here at all. And I feel like his body language was a bit questionable in certain games as well. Whereas I think Connor Roberts will be the complete opposite. He'll come in, he'll fight for the badge. He likes a scrap, he likes a tackle. Decent player going forward as well. Can chip in with the odd goal or two. And I'm fully on board with that signing, and his attitude seems to be spot on. And all Wales aren't we continues. We've got Connor Roberts, Joe Rodon, Dan James, Ethan Ampadu. It was previously all of the Americans that were joining Leeds, and now we've got all of the Welsh. But the Welsh contingent are having an amazing season for Leeds United this season. So hopefully Connor Roberts can continue that trend. But it really does give Daniel Farke an interesting headache now, doesn't it? With Archie Gray playing so well there. But then Archie Gray's a midfielder. So could Connor Roberts just slot straight in against Rotherham next week when he can make his debut? Or do you keep Archie Gray there and let Connor Roberts work his way into the team? There are games where you can tell Archie Gray isn't a right back, but then there's other games where he does look like a fully competent right back. So again, that's why we're not the manager. That's why Daniel Farke has paid the big bucks to make those big decisions. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the team against Rotherham in our next league game. See if Connor Roberts comes straight in or not. Well, obviously, the next focus now is on the Plymouth game in the FA Cup on Tuesday night. In that replay, the winner of that game will face Chelsea or Aston Villa. Judging by the weekend's results, I feel like Chelsea would be the easier game. So I hope we can win that, and I hope Chelsea can beat Villa, even though I don't think they will. I think Villa will easily win that game. But that is a topic for another video. I will be live on the channel tomorrow evening from 8 o'clock, guys, where we will be doing a live preview for the Plymouth FA Cup replay. So make sure that you tune in for that. Then on Tuesday night, I'll be doing a watch along for the game. Plenty of content on the Chatting Leeds channel this week, guys. So make sure you hit that notification bell so that you're always aware of when I'm uploading and going live. Just briefly, if I was to give the transfer window a rating out of 10, I would give it a 7. Although, Connor Roberts was a good signing, but I feel like the amount that we let go, we should have maybe signed maybe one or two more players. But I'm giving it a decent enough rating because I'm happy with the signing that we did make, and it was in an area that we needed to strengthen in. And that is the end of tonight's video, guys. I really do appreciate all you guys for watching. Make sure that you are smashing a like on it on the way out if you haven't already. It just helps get the video out there to more people. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new and help me get to 3K. As I was saying just then, hit the notification bell and, of course, get your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And I will see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for the live Plymouth preview. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, and I will see you in a bit. Cheers.